Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from North Bryan School. My name is Sifu Bryan. I'm a North Bryan Kung Fu teacher with 30 years experience. It is the 5th of October 2020. Welcome guys to my weekly quote. Let's get straight to it. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Love that quote because you know if I got fooled twice by the same deception, then it is shame on me because I should have known better. And for what I'm seeing, what's going on around us in the world today, we're, we're being deceived. We're being deceived. So I like to go over some of my findings of the week of what I found out, and I find out that I'm hearing that Boris Johnson is offering people money again. He's offering £50 or £50 vouchers from Amazon for people to get tested. So he's willing to spend 170 million of taxpayers' money on getting us tested. But isn't there a bit of a misinformation here from the media? Because weren't we told in the media from different stories that people were finding it hard to get tested? These are people with symptoms, by the way, and they had to go all the way to another county to get tested. This is the nonsense they've been printing up in the papers. Yet Johnson is asking, begging people that have no symptoms to to be tested, which is absolutely amazing. Something's not right, is there? You know, that cannot be right. People find it hard with symptoms, and they're offering people without symptoms to get tested. Fake news, but it's also offering £425 if you give up your DNA, your details for the whole year. You know, again, Amazon, and he seems to be promoting Amazon, a company with 280 billion a year. That is worth 280 billion. You know, so I don't think Amazon needs any help. You know who needs help? The small businesses. So why are you helping out your friend? Eh? Or you getting a bit of that, you know? Our small businesses in this country need help, and I mean dire help. Amazon is wiping out these small businesses. You know, you're just, what can I say? You're just going along the conspiracy theories of what people feel you are doing, which is wiping out small businesses and helping out the one percenters to dominate the markets, where we will now only be able to go to them and not the small man down the road. Amazon don't need no more help. The small businesses do, Mr. Johnson. Whose side are you on? So, I think enough about that. But the testing, going on a bit more about the testing, we hear it's being handed to who's Circle to look after the data. I mean, they're saying it's the NHS track and trace, but it's Circle that deals with that. They're going to be the ones that are going to be holding our data. And we found out that 200 of their own employees' information got leaked, so they can't even protect their own employees, let alone information from the public of of that they're going to be handling their data. But it seems like Circle gets all the big contracts. So once again, it's always a small group of people that control the majority of the wealth of this country. But again, they want 400,000 or they're going to be inviting 400,000 people to give up their data. And for companies like for companies, for like these big companies, they, to get our data, it's worth billions, if not trillions. They are after our DNA, and they are after our personal information. They want us to give it up, and they're trying to put the fear into us to just hand over our data. No. As it says, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We know what the game is now. We really do. I think the first 2-3 weeks I was really like, oh God, maybe there is some kind of virus out there that's gonna get me and get my family and my friends and everybody. But after a while, I'm thinking, hold on, I don't know nobody who's passed away, and I know a lot of people. I don't know nobody, and it's just, I don't know. And I ask other people, do you know anybody? Nah. Do you know anybody? Nah. And the way the media's been going on, they're going on like it's a black plague, and by how they've been reporting it, then there should be a dead person. Like say, miss a door, someone should have died there. Miss another door, someone should have died there. You know, it's nonsense. It's nonsense, and there's evidence to support it, and the science support it. So it's not just a bag of wind, or like what's coming out the government's mouth and his advisors. So there you go. Another thing that I find out is that Boris Johnson is coming out with a book called The Gambler, written by Tom Bower, and it's his autobiography. It's going to come out on the 15th. Oh, why am I doing promoting his information? But anyway, coming out on the 15th of October. And in the book, I've been told, it's going to talk about things that happen in the background, especially to do with the lockdown and the meeting with Sage, how they presented it, and witty and balanced. There was no opposition. There was, all of them just agreed to all the lockdown rules, and they disagreed to it. There was no opposition to it. They didn't go and speak to the Nobel Prize winner of Michael Levitt, who has said from the beginning, lockdown, not good. Not good. But they didn't go to anyone on the outside. The media, or the fake media, did not take on any other views. They only kept to the views of what the government was saying and their phony scientists. And that was it. That was it. They didn't take on like there was no debate. There was no balanced views. Just a handful of people that made a decision. Disgraceful. But anyway, even going on to some other information, I hear like again talking about the PCR tests, which they use to now create cases, because there's no one dying now. It's but to keep this charade going, they've moved on to cases, people with symptoms, and they use the PCR test. And the person that made this, that created this test, has always said you can't use it for this specific thing of finding a coronavirus. It wasn't designed to do that. And they say that 89 to 94% of tests will be false positive. So why is the government and the governments around the world persisting with using this particular test to identify cases? I leave that to you guys, you know. But I've got my thoughts on that, and it's a scam. But you know, now in some other countries like Australia, they've got people being arrested for not wearing a mask, and they've got some people are being and in the Philippines, some people are at risk of getting shot. So I always say to people, you know, what's going on in those countries can eventually creep over to the UK. Because as wild as it may seem, well, what happened in the beginning of this whole scenario, they told us it would only be for 3 weeks, or locked down for 3 weeks, and that would be it. But look where we are 6 months down the line. We're wearing masks. We're wearing all the things that you would never have believed would have happened in the UK. We're doing 6 meters apart. Now being told only 6 people you can meet with, only 6 people are allowed in your home, and all this thing, and there's no science. It's not even. There's no science base on it. Nothing. And yet they're passing this off as law. they're they're lying. That cannot be a law. It's not a law to breathe oxygen. Yeah, they cannot tell you who you can and cannot see, and who you can and cannot invite into your house. You are a sovereign being, and there's a thing called natural law which cannot be taken away from you. And if anyone knows any differently, because I know police officers follow my channel at times, and media people and so forth, let me know in the comments if I've quoted anything wrong, and I would address it. But anyway, moving on to another professor, Professor Dolores. What's her name? Dolores Shadhill. Yes, she's a very well-known doctor in this field, and she's done a lot of research into these things. And what she's saying is, on the 11th of March 2020, WHO, the Director General, said that that this virus had already gone through 114 countries, but the number of deaths in December 2019 to January, February, March of 2020, when they declared it a pandemic, in the whole world, 700,000 million people who they said died at that time during those month periods was 4,291. So the chance of dying of COVID-19 would have been 1 in 1.8 million. So that's 56 people were dying every day in the whole world of COVID-19. So would you call that a pandemic? No, you wouldn't call that a pandemic at all. She also goes on to talk about where are we now? She talks about let me see, family. So according to Dolores Shadhill, 85% of deaths can be prevented through vitamin D, vitamin C. And of course, I can never say that word. Gotta be careful, could get banned for it. Hydrochloroquine, but I said that very quickly. But obviously there are treatments for it and so forth. Now, I like it when she was talking about when they use the word mandatory is not compulsive in law. And all these things are regulations and guidelines, which is true because no one can't force you to wear a mask, and no one can't force you to only have 6 people in your house and all this sort of all this sort of nonsense, you know. But people say, but it's law. It is not law. You know, the police are saying they could have forced it. It's not. It's not a crime to invite six people, 7 people, I should say, to your house. You know, it's not a crime. It's not a crime to not wear a mask. You know, it's not a crime. And I would challenge anyone to show me in criminal law where it states. And I had the same argument with a security guy in a shopping hall when he was telling me you got to have a mask on. I said, well, show me in law, criminal law, where it said it's a crime. He couldn't do it. So he had to just let me get on with my shopping and leave me be. But again, if anyone could show me, yeah, and I know my police friends and so forth do follow this channel, let me know in the comments. Show me in law, criminal law, where it says it's a crime to not wear a mask. Anyway, moving on. So another thing what Dolores says, which I do like, she talks about we have freedom of speech, which we do, but they're trying to stop that. We have freedom of assembly, which they tried to stop last week for the protesters in Trafalgar Square. Freedom of thought and bodily I can't pronounce that, but anyway, I think you get the gist. But she also talks about we have natural rights and inedible rights, which is true. Now, inedible rights is or what it means is we said to is rights that were said to be those rights that could not be surrendered by citizens to the sovereign, cannot be sold or transferred. The personal rights to life and liberty. The government cannot take away these rights. So that's what that means. Now, if someone doesn't respect your natural rights, because don't forget, these rights cannot be taken away from you. Yeah? These rights cannot be taken away from you. But if someone doesn't respect those rights, you could take them under the Disability Act. Alright? If they don't respect that, you could take them for that under the Disability Act. Now, the state has no power to tell you how, like I was saying, how many people come into your home. No power to take your children away. I know that there's a law where they could actually do that, and they've slipped in with all these laws. I mean, since Boris Johnson's been in charge, they've come in with they've made 3,000 laws. 3,000 laws. Without our consent. That's a joke, but anyway, she goes on to talk about a march that's going to happen in Berlin, Germany, and again it's going to be about their rights, fight against the lockdowns and so forth, and that's going to be on the 10th of October in Berlin. And what they're gonna do, they're gonna look to get 10 million people. And what they're looking to do is to camp in the centre of Berlin, and they're gonna camp there until the government steps down, which would be phenomenal if they actually pull that off. So if the government steps down and then they're putting people that are working for them, that's going to be powerful. Because, and pull back these lockdowns and so forth, that's going to be very powerful, because once they pull back their lockdown, the other countries will have to follow. They will have to follow. But we will see. We will see. Now, there's another law we can use, which is malfeasance. Now, it's crime of malfeasance in the UK carries a jail sentence of 10 years in jail. So if a politician, a medical doctor, a scientist, police officers, anyone in public office, let me see, let me get a meaning of it. So malfeasance is wrongdoing, especially by a public official. For example, a politician embezzling money, or the performance by a public official of an act that is legally unjustified, harmful, or contrary to law. Wrongdoing. Use especially of an act in violation of public trust. Now, we know that the government have lost a lot of our trust because of all these laws or regulations and guidelines they're throwing at us, but are telling us lies that there are laws. These are not law. It is not a law, and definitely not a criminal law. But anyway, malfeasance. So if there's a public official that has carried out their duties in an unlawful way, like telling lies, like for instance politicians telling you that it's law to wear a mask and it's law to not to close your business down, this is not law. And these politicians can and will be held to account, and this carries a jail sentence of 10 years. Police officers that have been going out roughing up protesters and arresting them and fining them. That's illegal. Fining them. Because they are demonstrating their legal right to demonstrate. And don't get me wrong on this. It's not all police officers. There are good police officers, there are good doctors, there are good politicians. But at the moment, there's a lot of corruption amongst the police hierarchy, the doctors hierarchy, and so forth. So we need to clean these people out. Getting good people that would remember their oath and uphold their oath. The doctor's oath is to do no harm. Police officers is the same. Politician, they work for us, not the deep state, not for the 1%ers, as it seems like they're working for. They're supposed to be working for us. So we will hold them under malfeasance. And they can't hide behind they were just doing their job, or they were just following orders, because there's clear evidence showing back in January that people were bringing this to their attention. Bring them to the attention. It's unlawful to shut down businesses. It is harmful to put people in lockdown. It is harmful to put people in isolation, to put masks on, to and people have died of suicide. People have died more of the harmful effects of a lockdown than of this so-called disease. So, and if your parents have died in one of these care homes, we're going to hold them to to be accountable for that and all. None of these people will be let off the hook under these laws, and there are lawyers around the world that are bringing cases right now. I know there's a case in the UK which they are trying to delay, but that case will happen, because those guys are not going to give up. And I know there are cases in the United States, there's cases being brought in Ireland, and some other places around the world which I cannot remember at the moment, but there are a lot of things going on in the background, but the media or the fake media are not reporting it. So this video is a bit long, so let me cut this short. So guys, I'm gonna cut it there, but like I say in the quote again, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Guys, let's not get hoodwinked again, and let's step up, stand up. The men in the UK and around the world, I don't know what's happened to you guys, but you know, I don't know where all the men have gone. At the moment, it's the women that are standing up. It's more women standing up. What's happened to the guys? What's happened to you all? Stand up for your rights, man. Come on. You know it's not right. You know something's not right. Stand up and be counted. Stand up and be counted. So, on that note, don't forget to like, share and comment. I'm so sorry. This one's been a bit of a long one. Hopefully I've not waffled too much. I forgot to show you the remember the I always say in some of these videos that the coronavirus was downgraded back in March. Go to the website. I don't know if you guys have done that, but anyway, I will show you on my video where it's happened here. Let's see. There we go. This is the UK website. Let's go up. There we go. Can you see it there? Whoops. See it there? Okay. Downgraded on the 19th of March. So if this thing was downgraded, why on earth have they stepped up their propaganda and their fear mongering to the UK population to put them into submission? Why have they done that? And this is not just the UK, it was downgraded in the US, it was downgraded in Europe, downgraded on the WHO's website, and they are still progressing with this fear. But we're going to hold these people to account. All the deaths, the doctors that have just gone along with it, the coroners, we're going to hold you to account. So this is now your opportunity to correct what has been done wrongly and speak up. Please speak up. But on that note, guys, take care, stay blessed, and I'll catch you next week. I promise you I'll keep it short. Take care.